gathered in their masses. Get out of the way.
Hello and welcome to Office Hours with Amber. I'm Amber and this is Office Hours and we got a fucking ton of stuff to talk about today. I'm going to make sure the audio's working and then we're going to just let it loose. And it's going to be great. And Okay, audio's good. We are done with that. Okay. Hi, Mom. Nice to see you. So glad you're here. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today, and the eventual end of this video is going to be doing sticky note exercise and the qualitative analysis of my financial behaviors. But the first probably 30 minutes is going to be me ranting positively. Perhaps. I wrote down some notes so that I don't miss the point because I finally found the point and I really don't want to lose it this time. I hope everyone's having a beautiful week. I know I am. I got up at 8:30 today. Ooh. Now last week I did not get up at 8:30 and we're going to review that in my KPI meeting. But I think what the theme at the beginning of all of this, where I want to start, is I saw a video, and I should have pulled it up. I saw a video on TikTok, and this guy was talking about the idea or like this hyper automation situation we've got going on in the world right now. In the AI sphere especially, that kind of lit it on fire. There's already been, a lot of continuous improvement and self-improvement and this and that and like trying to get the most out of everything in life and whatever. And I've been really grappling with my opinion of AI over time because obviously there's like the environmental aspects to it. There's the Banjo is on his bed. There's the cognitive incline but also decline, like there's a regression and an improvement in a lot of people. I think the most scary part of this, or the most systemically hard part of this, is the like mega corporations that are using AI to outsource, basically just suck all of the intel out of the people and then lay them off. I think that's disgusting. And those companies are, this is going to marry up to the idea I have coming next. I, however, have gotten benefit out of AI for thought partnership and being able to learn things quickly and using it to help decrease the cognitive load for me to do new things, to do more things. And I even questioned that own concept here recently because the idea of more, all the stuff. When you improve a process, and this is like industrial engineering 101 is improving processes, improving industry, and improving, optimizing, minimizing, maximizing, getting rid of the fat of processes and the waste, which is inherently a good thing. But there is such a thing as too much. And I think when it lacks meaning or purpose, that's when it gets to kind of a dangerous place. So, and I'm kind of dancing around it, but like, let's say for instance, back to AI. So I could automate every single process, and the more conversations I have, when I talk to them about the things I'm learning, they're like, oh, you should put that in an agent and you should, sell that to people to sell, like for them to, be able to tap into. And I'm like, or they could schedule a meeting with me. It's like, why? Like, it's not that I have like, oh my gosh, the most intellectual property crazy things to protect. It's just more of like, there's the act of going to the water cooler. And I saw this was inside of a video that a girl posted too, is like, by putting water stations near everyone's desk or getting everyone those, or like putting coffee makers in the individual departments, and not putting like a joint work or a joint, I'm going off the rails already. By not having the break room, you miss all of the kind of small minutia of people and community. And Someone put tuna in the microwave. Like there's all these like little micro moments of humanity that are taken away when you automate something or you decrease the communal of it. And then that's not my primary point of all of this. That's so far from the point. But what I'm saying is peachy profitability. Nope, we're still backpedaling to AI. The thing about AI is just because you can automate it doesn't mean you need to. There, I said it. Just because you can meticulize, like, and a good example is my laundry. I could maximize the number of dollars it takes to do my laundry per number of clothing. Like I could maximize only going to the laundry when I have a full basket. But I have to constantly be checking, is my laundry full? Is my laundry full? Is my laundry full? But I ain't got time for that. Cognitive load. And that's where I think for hyper intelligent people, we build nice systems that already work quite well. So like, why would I need AI to automate that thing that I already automated? Like to do it functionally for me all the time. Like, why do I need an agent to do that for me? But this is not anything I say about AI right now is not to poo-poo on what you are doing. It's more so this all comes back to the alignment of self, of me. This whole Officers Amber has just been this entire deep dive of self, basically. And I had a huge unlock this week. So essentially, what I'm tired of is being told to just put it in AI, just do this. Shut up. No. And the thing about it is if it was a super profitable machine, why are they continuing to increase the prices? Why are they continuing to make the token, like do it by tokens instead of unlimited use? Why are they building humongous data centers? If it's the super profitable thing, why? And the theme of the episode is root cause analysis, which is a lot of asking the fuck why. So why would I invest in such a unsustainable, non-repeatable system? However, I do get benefit out of it. And I'm such a phony because it's like the thought partnership and being able to toggle ideas at 4 a.m. when no one's awake, like there are benefits. But my thing about the AI, and it's not even about AI, my thing is about because of AI, it has created this situation where everyone feels like they have to optimize, maximize, automate everything. And you don't. Like you truly don't. You can make things easier on yourself, but that is the point of continuous improvement. That is the point of making things better, is to improve the quality of life for someone. People are the point. And that's AI is a tool, but that has lit a fire under everyone thinking that they have to wring all of the waste out of every single moment of their day. Hey, guess what? No, you actually can have an allowable amount of waste. A concept. Okay, I'm done bitching. But what I want to say about that is, in my heart, I was grappling with the idea of, do I really need to learn agentic AI to make sure that I have skills available to keep up in the future of consulting? And then I realized those aren't my customers. I have the skills. I am fully fucking aware, and I have all of this skill to be able to help evil people make another few $100,000 by improving efficiency and here. I could. I'm gonna probably off myself because that's such a miserable life. And this also comes at the same time of, in my life with the Wildwood off Main and so many other things happening, is paying for something and getting a half-rate service. Putting in all this time and energy to just being taken from. And looking into the kind of greater majority of life, like even today, I had a maintenance guy come over to help. My doors weren't shutting. And the first thing he said was, well, there's the right way to do it, but I'm going to try this first. I was like, okay, whatever. And because when they recycle apartments, they just paint over the doors, they paint over everything. They just paint. There's so many layers of paint that the door can't close because there's so many layers of paint in the way. And he was like, the real way to fix this would be to get a new door frame that's just white. But I, in the history of me working as this maintenance guy, have never been able to get them to approve getting a new door frame. I have had enough of fucking landlords preventing people with expertise from doing their being able to do a good job. And those are not my customers. I don't want to work with people who are just trying to make an extra few $100,000 to put in the CEO, the stakeholders' pockets. Now, having a business called Peachy Profitability is a crazy thing for me to say, but that is because my purpose, the purpose of Peachy Profitability, there's two parts. Profitability, that is the mechanism of successful businesses. That is all of the technical, money in, money out, the way that things get done. Profitability also talks about the investment of time in versus the value return. So you could talk about emotional profitability or energetic profitability or whatever. It's just, how do we get more out of what we're already doing or whatever. Then there's the peachy side, and the peachy side is talking about the people who make businesses successful. And I am just so fired up right now because that's the point. That has been my whole, the fact that 3 years into business and I'm finally figuring out what the purpose of my business is, it's really funny. But when I look back, and as I was doing an emotional profitability matrix of all of my previous clients, the ones I feel worst about and the ones that ended up not paying me, not Good Trade Depot, but like my previous clients that I looked at my receivables, the ones that didn't pay me were people that were just trying to weasel, do some, I was doing a financial model for people that were doing things that aren't good for anyone. And so all of this is just so, it feels stupid the way I'm saying it, but this is live, so we're just going to keep going. But the clients I want to work with are the people with boundless amounts of ideas. The ones that have, if I just had a little bit more time, I could do this really cool thing. Or if I had a little bit more money, I could give them raises. Or I could, okay. The point of Peachy Profitability is to help people do more with less and to be able to give the profitability back to the people. But that could be the people you serve, the people you employ, and the people around you in your community. Now, part of that is if you are, as a business owner, not even making enough money to pay yourself, we got to work on that first. Step 1. Step 2, once we have stability, because the business continuity relies on the business owner and the business management staff to be healthy and regulated. So if you've got a business owner that is not healthy and regulated, we got to work on that first. So I'm not acting as if profitability, the savings that come from the work we do together, don't benefit the owner, because I'm not that's not the point of this. This is more of, we have a stage approach of, once you have enough money to comfortably live your life, not $16 million, just a healthy salary. How do we move into, improving the life of your customers? What is your plan for customer centricity? What is your plan for employee retention? What is your plan? And because if you focus on the people that are at the front lines of your business, the people that are purchasing from your business, that is going to create so much more profitability than any fucking AI agent is going to do. And you know what I mean? So I'm mad, but I also love AI because it's helped me develop so many thoughts and decrease the cognitive load to get so much done. So it's so hard to be, it's just, I'm in the middle. So to wrap up, the point of Peachy Profitability is to help people. That's really it. More so, I said this more eloquently the other day, and I'm gonna keep developing the thought, but yes. The kind of, I wrote down an example of this is, you can actually see this, I think it's one of the first videos I posted on this channel, or is the very last one I posted on the Am Jamber channel. One of the projects I did was improving the inventory management system with pallet tags. One little piece of paper improved the life of all of our staff. The data quality improved, and now we can get to, we have much better data reporting for our clients. You see how one systemic process change can have impact on everybody and eventually has impact on the business. Little pieces of paper that dignify what palette is what help the entire organization and eventually lead to faster turnaround of money. So those are the kind of projects that bring me life. I really want to work with business owners and teams that have good ideas that they're just waiting to execute because they either need the money or the time or the expertise to be able to accomplish. So I'm going to make probably a separate actual video, an actual video to explain that so I can use it. But I finally get the point, which is really exciting. But end scene. Okay, big news. So if you guys remember back about a month ago, I went to New Orleans. When I got back from New Orleans, I weighed in at 202. Why this is important? We're taking a step out of AI land now, but this all relates to root cause analysis. So I weighed in at 202, which was impactful for me because I, at my heaviest, my most depressed, my most everything was 230. And I've worked so hard to get back to a healthy weight. I don't care what I look like. I'm just talking about health. So I got down to 195 and I was so blessed. And then I went to New Orleans, came back 202 and I was like, oh shit. So with the healthy habits that I put into rotation over the last few weeks that we developed together, down to 190. Ooh, who's that? Skinny girl. My goal is to be 180. Because if we get into 170s, I'll be quitting my job and becoming a Victoria's Secret fashion model. But I just want on my little app to say that you are in a healthy BMI, a healthy body fat percentage, that's all I want. I don't even care about BMI. I just care about that body fat percentage and getting it into like a sustainably healthy range. That's what I want. I'm going to take a look at it again here shortly. But anyways, big news. I weighed in at 190 this morning, which it's so nice to, this is what I'm saying. If I tracked my weight every day and what I'm talking about is input, habits, output, metrics. So by tracking the input behaviors, so when am I sleeping? How much water am I drinking? What am I eating? By tracking whether I'm adhering to that with my habit tracker, which I'll show you, that downstream lagging indicator, 190. So it was nice to see that the fluctuation has decreased as well as the number itself, which we're going to talk about today is I'm going to go over my weekly metrics, and then I'm going to talk about some of the bigger projects I did this weekend. So exciting. Thank you guys for the congrats. Love you so much. Going to go over weekly metrics. I'm going to go through my quantitative findings. So last week I started categorizing my expenditures, and what I did is I took the last 3 months of expenses, and then I recategorized using that one grid, but we'll get there. So weekly metrics, quantitative findings, and then we're going to start continuing the qualitative sticky note exercise. And that is going to be getting to the root cause analysis of the spending behaviors. And this is to more so wrap my arms around. I have a few things behaviorally and habitually that I've put in place to decrease my spending. So grocery shopping, batch cooking, a target to not eat out more than twice a week, no drinking, and canceled my travel. So those are habits that like input behaviors that I've already put in place that have already started to see some financial incentive or financial improvement. But I think there's a few more behaviors that I could expose in this exercise, so that my habit tracker, I can just make the confident plan and then just do the plan. That is the goal. Because the sooner I can decrease the amount of spend that is happening, the sooner, like once I have a regulation on spend, then I'll know what my kind of expected future expenses are, so that I know how much I need to be getting for a loan, or how much I need to be taking out of 401k, or how much I need to do transfer balance, like of the loan, the debt consolidation or the debt efforts. I need to know where the ceiling is so that I know where to aim for, because this isn't going to be fixed overnight. And so that's like, I can't just chop up my credit card today because I don't have enough income at the moment. But I need to know how much income I need so that I know how many projects I need to get. So I can engineer my week. We'll get there. Okay. I wish I would have said the AI stuff better. I feel like I didn't really hit the point very hard, but yeah, that's the point. We're just saying it live. Okay. Let me pull up in. Okay, so some cool things that I did is for the habit review, I refreshed the dashboard. And so of my habits, we had a lot of green, and unfortunately, we were not out of bed by 9 a.m. pretty much at all the whole week. Don't quit your day job, Toots. Yikes. It's tough. But what I did do is I got back on the horse today. And that is okay. I did get in bed by 12:30 a.m. most of the days, except for Saturday. But Saturday, I think I was working on a project until like 3 in the morning. So not the best, but we're back at it. Brushing teeth. She's fine. We categorize spend every day, but we'll get to the spend categorization of spend here shortly. Water was good. Inbox and sleep, not so good. Had a great bout of sleep on the end of the week. Hell yeah. Actually, I did get a lot of sleep. I don't think that one was tracked very well. That's fine. Let's see. I improved the way that I track my hours in Airtable. So exciting. Speaking of which, Airtable is being purchased by Bending Spoons. And Bending Spoons has bought many software companies before, and what they do, or the trajectory of what that company does pretty blatantly to a lot of these software companies is, again, this is kind of in the same realm. What they do is they take like Eventbrite or Evernote, and they will lean out the team. So they'll decrease the amount of processes. They basically take like a working business and just make it super lean, minimize team, and increase the prices of their services, like whatever like SaaS services that they're offering. And the problem is, and so what happens is like you see decreased, like if there's any like projected developments, like they're trying to put in like new features, those get slowed down because if you had a team of 10 and now you have a team of 3, kind of tough. And so the problem is Airtable is I watched a few videos and got some vibes on it. And how to describe? I'm nervous because I love Airtable so much. And so I have to start preparing all of our databases and all of our data structures for portability. And I don't love that. And the thing about making them lean, innately making processes lean and cutting all the waste and the fat isn't a bad thing. It's what you do with all that extra time, extra resources that you now have freed up afterwards that is the problem. And people and companies like Bending Spoons traditionally lay people off. And I'm fucking tired of it. It's the disincentive of continuous improvement. And that's why I am so, like, whenever we're going to improve something, it's, does this decrease the headaches you have to do? Does it improve the amount of time you have to work on things you're passionate about? Like, those are the projects that I want to work on. Or it's like, I already, like, for instance, if there's a situation where the company's not gonna hire more people, and you really have to, really have a lot of parts of your job that to be able to serve your customers well, you need to do way, way, way more things. If there's really no budget to have a new person and the customers are not having a good experience, if you continuously improve the process to be able to provide a better service, I still believe in that as well. And that was like there was a forecasting portal project that we did. And so it took what used to be a month process down to a like day process. So they can then provide better analytics to their other departments so they can make better decisions. Functionally, the job didn't change. It just the speed in which you could do that job improved. But I digress. I'm good. Anyways, okay. No drinks. I only had one drink at my friend's birthday party. And then I was like, I don't even want this. It's been like 18 days or 20 days. I've had one drink in 28 days. I might become sober. Crazy. Opal, she's good. Steps, I'm trying my best. Wash face. Everything else, I was on top of it this week, which was good. Now, the financial snapshot, we've got essentially the total. So then this doesn't look like a great picture, but there's a few things that are good about this. So the total credit card balance is 39,831, which you would say is worse than last week, which you would be correct. But I had the beginning, all of the beginning of the year, beginning of the year, all of the monthly bills come out in like that first week. And I definitely had more bills than this. So the fact that I was able to pay down, like, I think I paid like $1,600 in credit card bills. So not awesome, but most of the benefit of the things that I am putting in place now are going to be impacting in the future weeks. But now we have a way to be able to track progress over time. But my 401k went up, so hell yeah, I guess. Okay, so actions. Some of the actions that I've taken so far: canceled the unpaid travel, habit dashboard. I cleaned up my backlog of my OG. Okay. One thing that doesn't seem like it's connected to finances, but actually is. It's kind of in the buckets of regulating self, regulating health, regulating wealth. Something that deeply dysregulates me or has been a product of my dysregulation in the past is my backlog of good ideas. I know that in my brain I will not remember everything, because who could? So when someone talks to me and they tell me a good idea, or if we talk with something, I have I wonder if this works. Instead of putting it on my like rotation to-do list that I have on my desk, I'll put it on the backlog of good ideas, knowing that like I don't have the time at this very moment to investigate it, but I do want to do it eventually. What happens is, especially when I'm depressed, when I'm down for the count, when everything is on fire, the backlog grows longer because I will never run out of good ideas. It's tough being me. It's tough being me. But I can't get bored and I don't run out of good ideas. It's an illness, I swear. Okay, so the thing about that is I looked, and I also was back when my Finchbird died, which was a habit tracking app. All of my systems died. So since then, I've been kind of in Xtiles, kind of in Excel, kind of in Airtable, and kind of on a piece of paper, because I started using the piece of paper. This is the clean version now. A piece of paper to like manage all the rotating tasks. It's tough being me, I tell ya. That's so funny. Anyways, the backlog of good ideas. On Saturday, realized if I want to start using this action log, I kind of got to keep track of all of the different tasks that I've just been like reprioritizing the backlog of good ideas. So what I did is I put all of them from everywhere into one Excel sheet. My tried and true, my home is Excel. I can't get away from her. I love her so much. So I put all of them in, and that resulted in 338 individual tasks that I had sprayed everywhere. Now, the thing about that is I might get a request from one person saying, oh, the outbound details table needs like a new column. And I'd be like, okay, put it on the action log. And then someone else will be like, well, the outbound details like isn't connecting to this thing very well. Okay, put it on the action log. Now, in the side of this action log, I might have 4 to 8 of the same kind of request that are all just like a little minorly different, so I couldn't delete them. So what I did on Saturday was I consolidated and I cleaned. I like imagine me on the floor with a toothbrush, like scrubbing the tile. That is the equivalent of what I did with my backlog on Saturday. So I decreased from 338 open backlog tasks to 105. 105, which is a whole lot more manageable. So could you imagine 335 little needles in my brain? That's what it felt like. But now I got 105, and that's way easier. And the nice thing is, it's also like a mixture of all the different things. So I'm going to show you what it looks like now. This is the backlog of good ideas. So things that I have incorporated, and these will look a little similar, is category. So if we remember back to this picture where how do I even describe my task management system? I needed a better way than high priority, low priority to be able to categorize tasks. So based on the different level of excitement I feel when I do the task, based on the level of understanding of the task itself, like if I'm building something new or if I'm doing something repeatable, that is this categorization here. So I roped that in so that I can start managing my week energetically. So I could say, okay, from 3 to 5 p.m., I know I'm not doing anything. So I'd rather do a float task that's exciting for me during that time rather than just sit on my phone, play car match, which I'm up to like level 1400. It's the AC. So there's ways to manage your week. Okay. Then the sub project. So if there's a bunch of Airtable or admin or whatever, then the benefits. So I know that if I'm the only one benefiting from the task I'm doing, ain't gonna happen, girlfriend, not happening. So that's where I can then just, if it's me, I can then put factors to all of these and we'll get that later. But anyways, I put the benefit. And if it's only me, I need to find someone to be an accountability partner, or I need to figure out who this could possibly benefit. So when I'm done with it, I could show it to them. Know-how. So this is a difference of like, yes means I absolutely know how to do that. Mostly is like, I'm pretty sure I just got to dust off. Kind of means I'm going to have to put a little energy, but I'm not completely blind, and not at all means I don't fucking know. And this is like starting from scratch, which is helpful because then I can put a factor like 1, 2, 3, 4 multiplied by me versus not me, multiplied by the energy required in category. And that creates a prioritization matrix, which I haven't put in there yet, but none of our business. Roadblock. Also, listing out the roadblock, because sometimes I'll look at something on my list and be like, what the fuck why am I not doing that? But being able to identify and sit with it, we at least have space for that. Now, you might say, Amber, that's kind of overkill. And I would say, yeah, you're probably right. But that was Saturday's activity. 12 hours of me just staring at this. But now this is part of a well-defined problem being half solved. I've defined most of my problems, why most of these are on the backlog instead of just getting it done. Because when I believe in it, I can get so much done. But I digress. The other thing that I loved in this exploration as well is that if you have an action log or a task list, tasks and actions are verbs. You are doing something. A lot of the backlog, something that came out of my backlog analysis or my action log analysis is that I had so many, like it was like client portal. That's not a verb. Link to video. You can say, watch this video, but a link that the more cognitive load I need to do to be able to get things done, we don't have time for it. So what I did is as I was cleaning these up, I wanted consistent structure to my tasks so that it's easy for me to be like, okay. And the verbs I came up with are clean, create, develop, investigate, message, update, book. And develop really fits inside of clean and create, but like slim enough. So the cool thing about that is create. I inherently already know creating something takes a little bit more energy, but I'm also more excited to do that. Whereas clean means something already exists. Something's wrong with it. But we gotta get in the middle of it. So clean is a little bit harder. Book is scheduling things. Update, that's just entering information. Message, that's just responses. Investigate is like clean, but investigate doesn't have a timeline on it. Whereas clean has like a very specific deliverable, whereas investigate's like, where are we going with this? And that's more orbital. But I have, because I all of this is because I went to New Orleans and came back at 202 pounds. This whole chain of events. That's crazy. But anyways, so I'm excited that I got that done because it's so easy when like imagine you're on a hike and there's like, if you're hiking through woods that don't have paths, most of your time hiking is just trying to like make the path. This backlog reconciliation process cleared the path. So I'm no longer macheting through the forest. I'm just walking at this point. It's still uphill. Still sucks kind of ass, but I mean, it's a little easier. So I digress. Okay, cool. Actions, backlog. And now we move on to the... That was a very weak bongo. Move on to the quantitative analysis. So for a reminder, quantitative, numbers. Qualitative, people and feelings. Good? Good. Okay. Oh, shit. We're locked. Okay. Anyway, so what I did in the financial analysis, I essentially took all of the expenses and I started looking through. I basically took the last 3 months and I wanted to make sure if it's recurring or it's necessary, and then the Foursquare. And the Foursquare being ah. So reminder on my Foursquare. Basically the matrix of needed expenses and not needed, one time and recurring. So needed recurring bills. Not needed recurring is like discretionary spend. And that's like coffee. I'm not getting rid of it. I can decrease the amount I'm spending when I'm getting coffee, but I'm not getting rid of that routine. Now it's not required, but I'm still doing it. The one time needed is like emergencies, or like if you're on a vacation, like if that one is a little tough for me to explain, because really is anything an emergency? That feels like a bit of an alarming word for what it actually is. But essentially what I want to like, that is like a circumstance where you really couldn't have gotten out of it. Like like when you're traveling and you have to pay for parking, like you kind of just gotta do that. But anyways, not needed, one time. And that's what I call treat yourself. That's like, I didn't need this. Like I almost bought a recliner the other day and I go, no, we have goals. Knock it off. But my Google search history has just been recliners. Swivel rock recliner, 21-inch seat height, manual. That's not ugly. I almost found one, but I didn't. But anyway, so those are the categories that I'm going with. All of those, and I took the last few months, and I should do this more. But the highlights I found while I was doing this, that my actual categorization, there's a few things that are miscategorized. So that is a new action item for myself, where I'm going to be fixing the errors in that I found from my analysis, which is wonderful because the better the data is, the easier it is for me to analyze it weekly. So financial analytics. Okay, so we've got all that. I do like a good chair, and this one's really pissing me off. Okay, actually, we got to talk about chairs real quick. Do you hear this? It shouldn't be able to do that. Something's loose somewhere. Like, chairs shouldn't be able to do that. It makes me fucking mad. Ooh, I also have been putting my TikTok shop cart has like 70 things in it. And then I need to move it to like save for later, because it's all like really stupid stuff. But at least like months from, like if I review it a few months out, I'm like, why did I want that? That was silly. So I do the same thing. The save for later list, too good. Okay. So based on the quantitative spending analysis that I just did, I have some insights. So essentially what I did is I took the last 3 months and I have my 4 categories. So in terms of the percentage here really is not bad, but what I consider to be bills, up for discussion, because there's still some spooky stuff in there. Let me move this out of the way. Let me move you out of the way. Okay, for instance, when I look at bills, and there's a few like weird, like because it was miscategorized, there's some kind of funky stuff. But loan payments, that's a bill. Totally. Expenses the home. This and this are both rent and utilities. Fine. Auto transport. This gets into like, is it a bill? Not really, but it is a requirement. It is something that I'm going to be paying for a lot. So I would more so, this is something where inside of the average spend of this, I want to aim to see what can I reduce. So that's where I'm going to do a second, like a third pass on these and go, okay, let's set reasonable budgets to say, hey, we're only allowed X, like, let's monitor this closer instead of just saying, well, I got to go get gas, you know? So groceries are good. There's a bunch of like little stuff inside of here. Like the medical will be going down pretty dramatically. So there's some things it's like groceries. It's not a bill, but it like is recurring and it is required. So we'll talk about that in a bit. But discretionary, we can see that fees are pretty high. And you want to know what fees are? Credit card interest. So I'm real fucking excited to get that out of the way because yikes. Coffee, I think that's a super respectable number for coffee. $200 a month. I'm okay with that. A little crazy. Nah, I'm accepting it. It's a membership to my fucking sanity. Yep. And so if it says C in front of it, those are also business expenses, but I don't want to I want to have business expenses with budgets as well, because what I do for like advertising or what I do for, memberships, I have a membership to like a consultants group. Is it worth $29 a month? Now's the time to assess that. So all that being said, treat yourself. Sobering, but dining and drinks, on average, $1,100 a month. Now in June, that's when I was at the hotel, and that I was also like, we know how we got here, but still $9.95, still not okay. Like we gotta sort that out. So that's the primary of the treat yourself, because all of this really, when you get down to it, like a lot of shopping ends up being like tech equipment that I use for this, that I use for my business. So I'm like, not really too concerned with that. So all in all, we go to our insights. So for bills, let's do this. Okay. For bills, on average, we have $3,700 of bills. There are things that we could reduce. And that is where that's a part of, at minimum, I need to have at least that much money in the bank account to be able to, when we get there, that's how much I can expect in the future. So anyways, discretionary. This is primarily interest, but realistically, some of the bills are discretionary. So that's going to fluctuate. Emergency, I'm not too worried about. Treat yourself. I think we know what's going on there. So the peaks and pits that we pull from that is that the things coming up basically is I'm not moving anymore. I don't have the Wildwood mess. There's no hotel. I am reducing therapy. Instead of the 4 sessions in that month, I'm only doing it once a month now. My car maintenance is all done. I also, based on my habit tracker, haven't been eating out. So a lot of good stuff. However, pits, I nearly crashed all the way out when I went to the dentist the other day, and they told me how much those fillings were going to be, because I got a quote 6 months ago that said $1,300 for your fillings, and I go, okay, that sucks. But then I went and got dental insurance, and then I came back 6 months later for my cleaning, and in the cleaning they were like, oh, looks great, it's just the same as last time, we just same treatment plan. I go, great. So then I go to the desk, and I was like, can I get the quote with the insurance? They're like, yeah, it'll be $1,400. It was $1,300, and now with insurance it's $1,400. And they had apparently only quoted me in the like 6 months ago for one of the 2 sessions. I haven't cried that hard in my life. So yeah, we got $1,400 of dental fees coming up. So I haven't made a waterfall in so long, and it was kind of fun, and I love it because look at this cutie. I mean, the baseline here, we just need to make sure we're all on the same page. The baseline here is $4,000, so that's not zero, but just showing like the gravity of the impacts that we're making. But if you really like to kind of give behind the smoky mirrors, really that's the impact we're having, which is still a great impact, but we should probably leave it that way anyway. Okay. So essentially moving, what I did is I took whatever the total was divided by 3. So like moving, I didn't have in my monthly average. It was just a 700-ish. Oh, yep. $700 set of expenses. And so I divided that by 3 to say like what the monthly impact would have been in comparison to what that average spend was. So that, therapy, maintenance on the car, eating out, travel, because I won't be traveling. All of that included basically would get my spending from $7,000 down to $5,000. Pretty good. Pretty good. But we have the upcoming travel. We have dental visit. Let's just call it dental. So we have the upcoming dental that is going to be putting us back. But could you imagine if we hadn't have done this exercise and I wouldn't have been able to shoulder, well, I really can't shoulder it, but wouldn't have had the space to shoulder that new expense? It would actually just have been a fucking insane expense month instead of net normal. So I think when life stops fucking around with me, we're going to be in good shape. So that is the findings. That's what I've been up to. I've had a crazy week, but now I'm going to move on to the sticky note exercise. And what I want to do is I want to get to at least one of the 5 whys. We've got 14 minutes and I believe in us. I believe in us. Let me get back down to this. I feel like I wrote the sticky notes out already. And I don't know where I put them. It might be in my OneNote. Ooh. Okay, that's okay. Let's do... How do I want to do this? But yes, all of the tools that you're seeing here will eventually become available in that you're about to see. All of the tools that you're seeing are going to become a part of the Amber's operating manual, or Donna's operating manual, or Jody's operating manual, or operating instructions, or something. Owner's guide, or I don't know. We'll workshop the title. But I just showed you a lot of the quantitative, and that is hard numbers, hard to fight. But when we talk about finance, every transaction is caused by a person. What? Unless your stuff's on autopay, then there's maybe a little omittance of guilt. But every time, every one of those line items, I had to put my card, beep, beep. That was 400 decisions. Generally, aside from autopay. But the thing about, and this comes back to the entire thing I've been preaching on this whole hour, people are at the epicenter of fucking everything. So the more we focus on the person, the more we can understand the behaviors, and we can work on behaviors, because numbers on a screen can point us in the direction, but it all points back to, well, why did the person put their card down for that? Why did they feel like they needed to do that? Why did they need to buy that thing? That is all human behavior. So quantitative is good at pointing to the direction of who to talk to and why and how and what, who, what, huh? Because if you think about it the other way, if you look at, for instance, when you're buying something from a business, and let's say it's like utilities or let's say utility. This is such a bad example, but the price in which you are charged at one point had to be determined by a person. someone had to look at this thing and assess the value of that thing based on the demand and the supply, demand, the whatever. But even on the other side, then if you look at, and this is where my money friend Jasmine on TikTok, she talks about most all bills are negotiable. So like I got so many comments talking about Spectrum is if you threaten to like cancel your service, they'll give you like a 60% discount or something for like 3 years. So inside of the bills, I think there's a lot of negotiability about it. But because the world is deeply human, qualitative is also important. So that is what I go forward with the sticky note exercise. And so essentially, oh, I didn't even show my sticky notes. Dang. Okay, I'm going to explain it, and then this might have to be like a separate stream. So in industrial engineering, there are 3 things I would like you to remember. 1, the sticky note. 2, a fish. 3, a question mark. How those relate is basically the exercise that I want to do when I'm trying to define a problem is I ask, what am I trying to solve? So this could be a slew of questions. You kind of want to wrap your arms around all of the symptoms of a problem. So this is like, when do I spend a lot of money? How do I how can I spend a lot of money? What environments do I spend a lot of money? Blah, blah. You sticky note and you put every symptom of every pain point of everything, which I'm about to do. Then once you've got all your sticky notes, beep, which I think I have a good example of this filled out. Also, it is so hot in this house. Here we go. Okay. So back in 2025, I completed this assessment. So essentially I said, why am I so far behind in my learning of modern Excel skills? I put every sticky note of every symptom of every problem. Everything keeps evolving. I have no discipline. This is how Officers of the Amber was created, by the way. Learning styles work for a minute, then I get bored. Who can I even ask for help? I don't have money for a coach, etc. I'm burnt out. All of these. You take those and then you organize it into, ta-da, a fishbone diagram. And it looks kind of like a fish if you really squint your eyes a little bit. You see how there's like the bones, and then the effect is here, and here's all the potential causes. So the fishbone is basically you sort out all of those sticky notes into 6 categories or less. Really, the prescribed categories they give you is man, method, machine, material, mother nature, measurement. 6 M's, super cute. However, sometimes measurement and material and machine get kind of mixed up, especially when you're talking about like human stuff. Now, if you were on the line, if you said, oh, I need to take this metal thing and hit it against this diamond thing, material might be an issue. Whereas machine, oh, this machine, whatever. Industrial engineering makes a lot of sense. For people, that's where I live within like different categories of like, okay, here's emotional problems, here's, interrelational, whatever. So what I did was I took all those sticky notes and then I categorized all of the man-made problems, all of the methods. So basically man is like busy, tired, burnt out, lack discipline, lack the routine, lack stuff. Method is how do I learn from who, the method of how I learn. Machine is my business machine, if you will. So like if I learn all this stuff, could anyone even use it? Mother nature, I would say ADHD. Measurement, what does caught up even mean? And material, like how do I even find that stuff? Based on that, now what you see is, okay, of those 6 categories, man's got a lot of stuff going on with her. The woman, we got to focus on her. So that's number 1. Method is number 2 because there's 4 in there, and then the rest of them are kind of the same. So from there, you now have your sources of root causes. So from man, we've got the social, the emotional and mental overwhelm. So we look at, why am I so far behind? Because I'm so busy and overwhelmed. Why does being busy and overwhelmed make it so there's no time? blah, 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 blah. I 5-wide my way all the way to the bottom to get to, I don't make my goals and interests a priority. A shock to no one. So that was, actually, I'm going to keep going with this. We're just going to talk about I'm going to tell you about what I'm about to do, and then I'm going to bring the results of that, or I might do a separate live stream because we gab too much today. Anyways, so I don't make of this 5 whys. I don't make my own goals and interests a priority. With diverse approaches, I can more directly pursue mastery and hopefully educate more people. Without a clear way to test whether a new method works or has a firm use case, I hesitate to invest time. So those were things that I found at the root of all of those. Now, you might see, oh, there's this other thing down here. It's not enough to just look at, okay, what are all the pain points and the problems? When have I succeeded at learning new things in the past? So for instance, for my exercise, I'm going to be doing expenses. Why do I spend so much? And then the flip is, when have I made a lot of money? When have I been really good at budgeting? When am I really good at this thing? And so flipping it on its head to say, okay, let's reinforce good behaviors and decrease the bad ones. So with that, after doing the same sticky note exercise, after doing the same man method machine, we amount to the end is I work well with immovable scheduled time to learn. Wow, isn't that crazy that why Office Hours of the Amber is every Monday at 7 p.m. So the root of that is that I'm reading this for the first time from myself back then. Early on, I learned worth equals performance. So being bad at something once felt unsafe. Each time I bravely try something new, I have to heal a smart part of that. And that is why, by not taking the time and protecting my time to learn, that's like a little woundy wound from back then. But I could tackle it head on because I knew what the thorn was. How fun. As a mechanism to connect with more people. So I wanted to use this anytime that I use learning as a way to connect with someone new. I value efficiency and continuous improvement, and shared community accelerates both of those. And then same, having clean, calm, comfy environment. When other options exist, the brain defaults to the path of least resistance. So what I do is I clean my whole house. I get to interact with you guys in this immovable 7 p.m. time slot where I microdose new learning things and I pursue it in a lot of different ways. So, as you can see, I'm pretty good at making a plan that I believe in. So what I'm going to do, and I'm going to bring, I either will do a separate live stream to do the full 5Y analysis, because I think it's important to watch how the 5Y, how slow it is. Because you really, each why, have to dig a few layers deeper and be like, well, why the fuck do I do that? So I might do just like a separate one for that. But then next Monday, I want to have this completed so that I have my kind of 6 pillars of the roots so that I can create my firm master plan. I was about to say for 2026, but it's August. So anyways, I'm ready for life to like stop throat punching me. So if you could tell a friend to tell a friend to tell the universe to like cool off, that'd be pretty good. But I hope everyone has a beautiful week. I got nothing left in the tank. I'm excited to take a nap. Who could be sure when this ends? I'm going to end 2 minutes early because you and I both deserve it. I love you so much. I will TTYL. Have a beautiful rest